Okay folks, today I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe for a keto chocolate. It has pecans, it has coconut, a little heavy cream, the base is going to be a butter, and then I'm going to make a chocolate out of cacao butter and cacao powder and monk fruit sweetener, and we're going to top that all off. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get her started, and we'll make the base of it first, which is what you see here, and then this has to set and on the counter and cool for a while, then in your fridge and get completely cold before we can put the chocolate over there. So we'll do this first. So okay, so what I got in this pan here, getting hot, is I got 3 tablespoons of salted butter. I use salted butter, that way I'm gonna add salt in there. And what I'm going to add in there is just half a cup of lakanto brown sugar. It's a monk fruit. And so what we're going to do is just a sort of similar to a brittle, like a peanut brittle. So let's go ahead and get all the sugar and butter mixed up together and get this stuff melting. Actually, I keep saying sugar, but it's not sugar. It is monk fruit. It's a sweetener. So we'll go ahead and get that all mixed up and get it started to melt. It takes a little bit longer for this stuff to melt than it does for regular sugar, so just take your time. So you can see I got the butter and the sugar and it's hot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in the pecans. And we're just going to cook that for a while. Cook this until it gets really hot, something like 350 degrees, because it is like making a peanut brittle. So in the process of this cooking, you can see it's getting darker. That is the butter, and the pecans, it's starting to get brown and smoky. Okay, so this has been cooking for like three minutes and it's plenty hot enough now. We put the pecans in. So what I'm going to do now is just add about a teaspoon of baking soda, and it's going to bubble up, as you'll see. So it's nothing major. Just there we go. That's all the baking soda you need. That's about a half a teaspoon. As you can see, it's bubbling. What the baking soda does, it helps this stuff get crispy and it gets crunchy once it cools down. It's changing color. You can see it change color. It's getting really dark. And we're going to mix that up. And folks, this smells really good. As you can see, it's getting thicker as well. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to start adding the cream in slowly. Like I said, it's a half a cup of heavy cream, so I'm going to put half in at a time. There we go. Now we're going to stir this up here. Keep on cooking it. I know it looks really black, and it is, and that is fantastic. It's getting there. It is called burnt butter. Okay, got that in there. Now we're going to add the rest of the cream. There we go. And then we're going to cook it down for about a minute. Is all we're going to cook it down for. And then we're going to take it off the heat, and once it stops bubbling, we will add in the coconut. And so like I said, you can just pour this out on a baking sheet that's got some parchment paper in there and let it cool down that way, and then you can pour chocolate over it and break it up. But I just happen to have a silicone mold, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour these in there in these little bar shapes. And then let it set and cool on the counter. I got a piece of parchment sitting on my granite countertops with the mold on there. And so we're going to see how this works. Last time I made this, I did the old, what I was just talking about. I just put it on a pan sheet, a sheet pan with some parchment paper on there. So you want to cook it down until it starts to get thicken up. It should thicken up for you with the cream and the baking soda and the sugar there. Okay. Just get it to bubbling. Bubble it for and boil it for 2-3 minutes. So when it starts to get down and starts to looking like thicken up sort of like a caramel, that's when we're almost ready. And you do want to use a non-stick pan for this. Stainless steel just don't work too well. This stuff really sticks. So you want to add the coconut here and get it all mixed up and poured into your molds before it gets too thick, or else it's going to be hard to pour. But if you're pouring it on a sheet pan, you really ain't got that hurry up type of thing going on. Okay, So there we go. I'm going to shut that heat off now. And once it starts to bubble, I'm going to add in the coconut. Stops bubbling, I will add the coconut in there. Okay, now I'm going to add in it's just a half a cup of desiccated coconut, unsweetened. Just put that in there and give it a good mix up. And that coconut will absorb this out of there, this flavor out of there, this nice rich syrup, this caramel syrup. And so we can pick it up off the heat because it's just an electric burner. There we go. So I'm going to shift the cabinet around here so you can see the mold. So it might be a little bit shaky. All right. Done and done there. Put that there. I'm going to spin the camera here a little bit. Okay, there you go. Now you can see my bowl here. What this actually is, it's a rack, a pan rack where you can put a ham or something on there, keep it off the bottom, but it's silicone, so it works great. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start pouring this stuff right here in the mold. And I ain't going to worry about it getting all over it because that's, like I said, it's just cool in here. There we go. And after we do that, we're going to give it a shake here, get everything nice and even. Break that off of there. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's hot, but it tastes good. So put that in there. And then what you're going to do now is we're going to let it set here on this countertop. You want to let it set in the sheet pan on the counter until it cools down enough to pull off the mold, and then set this on a plate, and then we will set it in the fridge until it completely cools down. So this takes about an hour to get it cooled down to where you need it to be, because like you said, you want to set it on the countertop, because if you put it directly into, if it's on a sheet pan or a plate, you put it directly into the refrigerator, to the freezer, it's going to cool too fast, and so it will not set up right. So you want to make sure it cools down slowly, that way this tempers right and it sets right. So I will be back when we are ready to take this out and put the chocolate on there. Okay folks, so the crunch part of this chocolate bar is done. It's set up. As you can see, it is a nice crunchy solid bar there. And so yeah, this is not a soft chocolate. This is more like the texture of a Butterfinger. For those that remember what a Butterfinger is, if you haven't been on keto too long, you can see it is very dense like that. This is very good and it's very sweet. And so what we're going to do now is we're just going to make the chocolate to put on there. And so what I got in this mixing bowl here is a half a cup of cacao butter. This is what I use. It is a cacao butter. It's from Terrasol. It's really good stuff. And so what I did is I just put it in the microwave in a bowl. It comes in these types of chunks like this, little chunks there. I put about, I don't know, 6 or 7 in there. And then I melted it down to get a half a cup of it. And so when you're making chocolate, dark chocolate, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so half a cup of the cacao butter. And so I'm going to put a half a cup of this organic fair trade cacao powder that I get at Costco. Just put half a cup of that in there. And then we're going to mix it up really good. So this little one here is a 1/4 cup. So that means it's going to take 2 of these to make a half. And you don't want it packed, it's just a nice level 1/4 cup there. So it's a half a cup of cacao powder. And then we're going to mix it up real good. You can use a whisk for this if you want. Matter of fact, I think I am going to grab a whisk because this little rubber spatula just is not mixing it up the way it should. So just give me 1 second here. All right. Okay, whisk achieved. There we go. Throw that in the sink now. So yeah, you just want to mix that really good. And when you get the cacao butter, you never want to get it over 115 degrees. For me, I find that the perfect temp for this is between 95 and like 105. So in them ranges there is really good. Any hotter than 115 and it's not going to work out. The chocolate will separate, the oils will separate, and it don't turn out good. So yeah, just give it a good whisk. So you can hear it's nice, and it is a nice rich chocolate, just half and half. And what I got in here is I just got a 1/4 cup of monk fruit sweetener. I put it in a coffee grinder that I used to grind stuff with this, so this was granulated, but I just powdered it. And in that powder, I just got a pinch of dried mint leaves. I mean, that's optional, but I figured I'd give it a little bit of a, I don't know, different taste, a little mint taste. Chocolate and mint goes together, just like chocolate and peanut butter. I'm going to put that in there, and then you just want to give it all a good mix, I guess. Just mix it up really good and make sure everything is blended. And of course, before you put it over your crunchy part there, you want to make sure to taste it for sweetness and all that good stuff. And I'm also going to add just a dash of vanilla extract. I mean, probably, yeah, just a dash, maybe another one. About a 1/4 teaspoon of the vanilla extract. And give it all a good stir up there. Make sure it's all blended in well. And of course, I always do that. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay, so now, yeah, that's I mean, you can add more sweetness to it, but this here is very sweet because of the brown sugar in there. And the little sweetness here is going to balance out, but if you like your stuff with that super sweet taste, I mean, all to you. And if your chocolate gets too hot, I mean too thick and you can't pour it, just stick it in the microwave for 5-10 seconds. But remember, you gotta watch that heat. So now what I'm gonna do here is just pour this chocolate over our bars here and see what we got. So they're nice and cold. So I'm just gonna start pouring it over the top. Just like that. And get it all covered. Back and forth, whatever it takes. Like I said, if you make this a little bit warmer, it'll pour faster and you will get it better coverage, but this is how I like it. And so let's take this whisk here, give it a little mix up there, and just continue to get all that wonderful chocolate out there. Okay. There we go there. You could always, save that for later. So what I got now is I got my spatula back. And now I'm just going to spread that out over there evenly. Just like that. Give them a nice coat. And so this is not going to be a completely covered chocolate bar. This always just, it's just the sides and the edges, the bottoms are going to have the crunchy part there. And if you want to separate them up, you can, that's fine. Just separate it like that. But like I said, these are, as you can see, the chocolate's already setting up because the plate was cold because I just took it out of the fridge. There we go. And so yeah, when he's completely set up and are ready to eat, I'm going to go ahead and take them back out and chop them up and show you what it all looks like. But for right now, folks, that's what it looks like. These are crunchy, they're sweet, they're chocolatey, they are fantastic. So, okay, folks, we are finally finished with our chocolate here, and it is finished. As you can see, I took them bars and cut it up into nice little chunk pieces here. As you can see all the pecans and the coconut and all that good stuff in there. This is just a fantastic chocolate. It is very similar to a crunchy fat bomb, if that's what you want to call it. So if you're hurting for your macros and haven't made your fat, you have a batch of this sitting in the fridge, and I guarantee you, you will make your macro for your fat thing there. So yeah, folks, hopefully you're gonna make this here chocolate and give it a try. Let me know what you think about it. And also, in case you don't know, I have joined a 30-day weight loss challenge. And if I am declared winner of the weight loss challenge, I will get a base amount of cash to donate to a charity of my choice. And I'm donating to 2 charities. One is for supporting international missionaries that are out across the globe. And also, half of it will go to a company that or an organization, I should say, that helps stop the exploitation of children and all of its ugly faces. So yeah, if you can, go ahead and check out that channel. You will find a little link up in the little profile picture on this channel. If not, it is a Willis Road to 199. So it's got all the information there, and I will be starting my not live, but daily posts there. There is a introductory there, so yeah, go ahead and check it out if you will. If you don't mind, go ahead and share that with folks. Because one of the stipulations is the more subscribers I get to the channel, they will add extra cash. For every subscriber, there is $1 they will add an extra, so that will bring up the pot of the cash. So the more subscribers I get, the more, and if I am declared a winner, the more money will go to my charities. So yeah, anyway, here it is, folks. The chocolate, it's crunchy, it's delicious, it's buttery, it's all that good stuff. So hopefully you try it, like it, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, folks, God bless and good eats.